Managed Environment Facility, or the MEF, is a nationally funded GRDC project which aims to look at drought-tolerant varieties or breeding lines in wheat and try and pick out what traits make a wheat cultivar resistant or tolerant of drought conditions. Being a nationally funded project, it has 3 sites around Australia. The one we're here at is the Narrabri site, which is in northwest New South Wales. On the deep black soils here, trying to find what cultivars and what breeding lines do well in these conditions under drought and low rainfall, particularly at the end of the season. Nationally, the MEFs were first proposed and funded in 2010. So the first year was a set-up year, if you like. Then we had 4 years of trials. We're now in our 5th year, which is the start of a new set of breeding lines which are being tested for the first time here at Narrabri and around Australia. The approach of the MEF is unique in that rather than an individual institution look at its own cultivars under its own methods, the MEF takes a national approach with a standard set of methods for testing drought tolerance, which are applied to cultivars and research varieties from a whole lot of institutions. So for example, CSIRO or private breeding companies like AGT or the agriculture departments of various states, including New South Wales, Western Australia, and other institutions as well, will send their seed to the MEFs for testing, and then they're tested under the standard set of phenotyping tests, which range right from seeding to the end quality of the seed. And then the results are sent back to the organisations to analyse which of their cultivars do well, and not only how they do well, but why they do well and where they do well. There's so much data that comes out of the MEF every year. We take, for example, just one thing we test would be using the green seeker, which is the same technology that's used for variable weed spraying in a paddock during a fallow. So the sensor will detect a green and it will send out a spray. The same technology is used to test the amount of greenness in a plot of wheat. So we'll use that by scanning the plot, and then at the end of the scan we'll be able to see how much biomass the plant has. So basically how big and tall and chunky it is. And that can help us determine the rate of growth of the plants under different conditions and for comparing the different varieties. But we'll take, of our about 1,900 plots, we'll take 5 scans a year, and so they'll be just for that phenotyping test. We have that here and at Yanco and over in Merredin as well. And so just for that test, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of data points for the researchers to analyse, to try and figure out, is it good to have lots of biomass early in the season, or does that mean that the plants waste too much of their energy early in the season and don't put it into grain where it should be in drought conditions?